Mandalorian, like Ratchet on Netflix, like that new one. And he's made a ton of other shows on FX. Like if you've seen a Ryan Murphy thing, like you know it and you know how well made they are. And so the combination of just how amazing it looks and how amazing the stories are told, plus like how interesting the show is and how it's an anthology series. So
all right, what season would you say? Would you recommend to somebody? Just say I'd never seen American Horror Story, which I have. Season my favorite. But which season would you recommend to people?
I would recommend
Nick sang one.
Yeah, no, I have a couple favorites. It really is hard for me to pick one, but I do love seasons 1 through 4. I think it's so hard because they're all so good.
1 and 2.
Yeah, I think one Murder House is the first one because all this, it's an anthology, so none of the seasons are, some of them are connected, but you can jump in and watch any season and it's not like you're missing out on like a continued storyline. So the first one, Murder House, is just like, yeah, Evan Peters. I love Evan Peters.
He's in WandaVision right now.
Oh yeah, I did see that. He is on that show. I haven't seen WandaVision, but yeah, I saw online.
Yeah, I like him as an actor. He's funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good. Oh, he's great. But yeah, so I think season 1 is a good, if you're like, I'm not sure, definitely go season 1 or even season 3 if you like witches. Season 3 is about a coven. So
season 3 is my favorite season.
Oh, it's so
season 2 and 3 are tied for me because 2 just feels like very, very spooky. Like if you're a horror person, watch season 2. Yeah. And if you're like into all the witchiness, definitely season 3.
I loved season 2. Season 1 and season 2 were my favorites. After that, Coven lost me like 3 episodes in. And
really?
Freak Show was really good for a little bit, but that one lost me too. After seasons 1 and 2, the whole show just completely lost me.
Adam Levine is in season 2, so I feel like that should give everybody a little incentive to watch it. Mr.
Season 2 is messed up. If you like messed up, season 2 is messed up.
It's super gory.
It's not okay. Season 4 too.
Yeah.
Speaking of gore, Chris, what show would you recommend to the general public?
Yes. So speaking of messed up and gory shows, my show that I'm going to recommend is my favorite show of all time, and that is Game of Thrones.
Yes, Chris, my favorite too.
So good.
My favorite.
Great show. I recommend it to like everyone that I meet. I've like made a lot of like my friends, and I made my whole family watch it, and I even actually went to like Ireland, not last summer, the summer before, and like went and saw a bunch of like the filming locations, which was really cool.
How did you feel about the end of Game of Thrones? Because I know there was a lot of controversy about the final season. As someone who was definitely a Dany stan, it made me feel, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
It made me feel odd. So
the final 2 seasons were, I wouldn't say they were bad because they were well made, but just the depth of the story completely just went away.
Yeah, I think I liked season 7. A lot of people don't like, or that's where a lot of people think it starts to go bad, but I think that's because the pace starts to pick up a lot more, and like they just like time jump a lot more, and it's not as it just kind of loses that Game of Thrones feel a little bit.
It's like less storytelling and more actiony, and while
yes, exactly. And then season 8 kind of. I really loved the first 2 episodes. I thought the first 2 episodes of season 8 were fantastic, and then I feel like it starts to go downhill with season.
I mean, without giving anything away, they built up this whole storyline, the entire series, and then it ends very anticlimactically.
I hate when people say there was a turning point where this show went downhill, because it's totally not the case. Like, season 7 was fantastic, and I thought season 8 was really good too. My only gripe with season 8 would be what you guys said, is they rushed it a little bit. I think they could have slowed it down.
It should have been more than 6 episodes for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It should have been more than 8 seasons.
I remember I packed it all in to like a very short period of time because I used like the HBO Max like 1 week free, and I tried to like knock out as many seasons as I could. I did it like specifically over winter break. I think last year or the year before that, and I watched like 2 seasons or 2.5 seasons in like a week, and then I was like, all right, I gotta do it. But yeah. Nick, what were some series, some shows that I feel like this one is gonna have
a touchy subject
a little bit on this one, but
it's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Netflix just removed it, which I'm very upset about because it's my bedtime show, and
I think
it has been
we all know it's coming.
It has been my bedtime show for 5 years, so I've watched it through 50 or 60 times, and I would right now put on the record, like, if the producers and creators of The Office want to go trivia against me, I will win. It's The Office. It is, oh God, it's a great show. It's on Peacock now. You can still watch it. You can still burn it throughout the rest of this quarantine, but The Office.
Peacock.
Peacock is CBS's or NBC's, one of those. It's their new streaming platform.
Do you have to like pay for it? Is it like
it's like $8 a month or something, which I'm considering at this point.
You're gonna pay $80 a month to watch
eight. It's like $8 a month.
I thought you said 80. I was like,
no, it's like 8.
We're gonna need to.
I'm considering it. I need my bedtime show. I need my bedtime show.
They released like longer episodes of The Office, like never before scenes, and like bonus content. Like more scenes in the episodes that nobody saw before.
Mm-hmm.
Hot take.
I didn't realize that.
I have a hot take about The Office that I feel like
I don't really like The Office. Like I've never made it through the entire series. I just can't make it through it, and I don't think it's that funny. Everyone thinks Michael Scott is like the funniest person ever, but I don't think he's that funny, and that's just my take.
Honestly,
he's so funny in my opinion.
I think that Parks and Rec is better than The Office, and here's why. Let me just hear me out. Just hear me out. For those of you that's seen Parks and Rec, there's a lot more vibrant characters. They get more personality trait than just the one thing that makes them funny. It takes place in more than one location. It's not just like the Parks and Rec Center. Like they travel, they do different things. My favorite episode is the Pawnee Rangers. And I just feel like there's a lot more, like, if you can call it world building in Parks and Rec. Like The Office feels very like centered around.
I would agree with you on certain things. So I think that Parks and Rec stays fantastic. I think Parks and Rec doesn't really have the same drop-off The Office has. I think that it's a great show from, in my opinion, people disagree, from season 1 to the final season. I think it's a great show. The final season's okay, but I still think it's really good. You can't say the same about The Office. The final 3 seasons are just not the same. But I think that the fact The Office can stay in that one world is like, the writing is just incredible.
I feel like if you're someone like me, I need like multiple storylines going on at a time, which is why I think Parks and Rec works better for me.
I think Parks and Rec has the advantage that it had a smaller cast, so the cast was more like a family dynamic.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah,
I can see that for sure.
Another show that's gotten a lot of conversation and talk around it recently has been The Mandalorian. We brought that up a little bit last week. We talked about some things like this. But were there any things anybody want to talk about in regards to The Mandalorian? Because I know there was a bit of news this week that was a bit shocking to some people, myself included.
Yeah, I can jump on that. So Gina Corrado had some interesting tweets, to say the least. She's one of the main characters in The Mandalorian, and she was since released from her role in The Mandalorian.
And why might that be, Nick? Why might that be?
Well, she essentially compared being forced to wear masks, or being forced into the predicament we're all in this pandemic, to the same, to basically what it was like being Jewish during the Holocaust, which is a really interesting take and a really bold take, we could say.
Very bad take. I think we can all agree it's a really bad
take.
Horrible take.
And, you know, my personal opinion on this, because I know a lot of people are saying like, well, okay, she said something stupid. She said something she shouldn't have said. She said it on social media. It's her political opinion. I've heard a lot of people say you can't fault someone for their political opinion, is what a lot of people are saying about this. And okay, fine. Like, sure, if we want to play devil's advocate, I get it. But she got fired from her job. And her company said, we just can't work with you because we can't deal with this backlash. That's totally okay. I don't care if it's your political opinion or not. If I work for a corporate company, if I said that, I'd be fired on the spot. 100%. It wouldn't even be close. And, that's the same we see with Morgan Wallen. He said something stupid while he was drunk and he got fired from his job, but he can still sell tickets. He can still have people come see him. He's not canceled, but his company said you're fired. And if all of us said the same thing, either one of them said at work, we would all be fired.
I think that the companies have every right to do that. Like, if I had an employee that was saying things like that harmful, I'd be like, get out. Like, you're not working for me. And I know that like a lot of people who are big Star Wars fans and don't see as big of an issue like as it is, are like, well, she's supposed to have her own series, blah, 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 blah. I was like, there are hundreds of other characters you can make a series out of, but I just don't understand why like you'd want a main protagonist to like have this actress stamped to it when she said some terrible things.
I mean, you also
I know
about Chris, you want to go? Or
I was just gonna say, going off what Lee said, I know they were planning to make a spin-off show about her character a few months ago, like when season 2 first premiered. And then she started saying things about the masks, wearing masks and stuff. And that's when it first started, and they immediately canceled the show right after that. And then after this new incident, she got fired.
Sorry, you want to go?
I just said as she should. She deserves it. I have no sympathy whatsoever.
No, not at all. I just think it's like people are like, one, if you're defending it's something either she or the country music dude said, that if you're trying to defend that just says a lot about maybe those are some things that you would consider saying or that you think are okay to say. And if you think any of the things that those people have said are okay, then honestly, you can just, your opinion's not worth listening to at this point. It's not just I feel like a lot of people are trying to be like, oh, it's just the leftist entertainment business. They just don't like Republicans. No.
Is that just?
Oh, that's I don't know. That can be any stupid.
I like that. No, I thought that was very fitting.
It's the voice. But no, it's it's not just, one, if your political opinion is discriminatory, racist, bigoted, xenophobic, it doesn't, you deserve to be shit on for your political opinion. And second of all, she just deserves, those people just deserve to be held accountable for, the things that they say. Just because you are on a platform or, are famous or whatever, there's just no excuse. If anything, you should be held to greater accountability because you're a famous person and because you have so many eyes and ears, especially something like Star Wars. Are you kidding me? Kids love that. You cannot be I was reading online, on Twitter, I think it was a mom that was my kids looked up to this girl because I haven't seen Mandalorian. Hello again, I don't see anything. I haven't seen the show, but I'm assuming she was a stronger female character that
she was one of the main characters.
Obviously young people are going to look up to that. So it's you can't just be going around spreading complete ignorant nonsense on the internet when children look up to you. Even if children don't look up to you, it's just just no excuse. Just go away and figure yourself out.
It's not it's freedom of speech, but it's not freedom of consequence, and that's what people need to understand.
She also works for Disney, and you can't say that if you're a Disney employee because they have to keep an image that they're family friendly.
Well, and Disney needs to watch out because Disney has had some pretty sketchy history with the whole Nazi situation, which she decided to tweet out 15 times. Yeah.
I think it's like a definitely something that they did right.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh yeah.
I think they used their platform correctly. She did not. And we have this platform. And I think it's important that we talk about some BIPOC small businesses. Amanda has done an awesome job of introducing us to some this week, and we just want to take a little moment to talk about that with you all, and get engaged in some conversation around it.
Yeah, so this has been a thing, obviously, through 2020. I mean, it's sad it took us this long to talk about racial injustice and issues of that nature and how it's perpetuated in our country. But I'm glad that, I'm glad that I've came to a point where now I've learned that, like, okay, supporting small Black, Indigenous, people of color owned businesses is like a really important thing for addressing racial injustice, because the racial wealth gap makes it harder for people who aren't white to start businesses and have funding for their businesses. So this year I like made it a thing for my own life to try and mainly, like, I'm trying to be like conscious in my consumerism and buy from small businesses, and not just, if I need something, not just look it up on Amazon or go to the grocery store or go to Ulta, whatever. Like, I look up a Black owned business with blank for whatever I need, and I'm finding the different things that I could normally just buy in a pinch from some rich white man who has millions of dollars, and instead I'm putting that money towards someone who's owning a small business and is a person of color and has a harder time in this country. And so I just want to share a couple of my favorite businesses. I have a list, and maybe hopefully people will remember this and Google them afterwards. But
I think right now, like, it's so important, especially what we talked about a couple of weeks ago with the stock market, like the power that we have as consumers.
For sure.
So I just think it's such like a cool conscious thing, like, that hopefully we can all do together, like, mindfully, because I think it's so easy for everybody to like go on Amazon and splurge a little bit, but that doesn't really do anything for like the community around you. So this list is fire, so take it away, Amanda.
Yeah, so at the top I have this shop. It's called Cup of Tea, but not like TE, like there's no A at the end. And it's just like a company that sells like loose leaf tea, and it's just like really delicious. Like, I'm a tea person, and loose leaf tea is better anyways, because some of the tea that you can buy like in the little packets at the store, there's actually microplastics in some of those, which is like not good for the environment. So
me and the turtles are gonna munch on the microplastics.
Yeah. Cup of Tea, great store, love them. My mom is into it. Like, we are into that company. I can't wait to purchase more. Like, I asked for a lot of stuff from these small owned businesses for Christmas, actually, from my family, and so I already used up the 2 little bags that I got from that. So that's a good one. Another one is Pearl Ivy. That's actually, it's a company based in the UK. But it's Black owned, and they make like really cool art prints or cards or accessories, and like this cool like graphic design kind of style of different celebrities. I got one of my friends like a little painting print of Tupac, but it's like in a really cool art style. So that's a good one. And then let's see, my last one, I'll do Naima's Natural Essentials. This is just a random small business I found, I think, on Twitter. And she's just like a really nice girl. Like, I've bought from her twice. I have some lip gloss actually right here from her, and a lip oil, and it's stuff like that, body oils, body scrubs, kind of just like those like bath and skin essentials. And I really like that one. That one, she's like super small, but every time I've bought from her, she's been really sweet, and it's really affordable and has good ingredients, and her packaging is like eco-friendly because she's trying to be, and environmentally conscious in owning a business. So yeah, those are just a couple, but go do your own research and find, Black owned businesses for whatever you're into.
That's awesome.
We are not sponsored, but I feel like we most certainly could make a great ad campaign team right here, right now, with Amanda as our head. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight and listening to some of these amazing topics and things we wanted to discuss. Go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all next week.